right, welcome to Inside the Raider Dad Locker Room. I have two special guests with us today. They've actually been a part of our sponsorship program and the Raider Dad Experience. Welcome, Marley Starks and his father. How you guys doing
Hey,
today?
Hey,
we're good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. I really appreciate you guys coming on here, sharing a little bit of your experiences with Raider Dad, and we're trying to show people the players that we're actually sponsoring. So, Marley, let's dive into, the game of football for you. When did you get involved with football? What age level? And, was there a motivation that led you to want to get involved in football?
my parents signed me up when I was 5,
Hmm.
and I just stuck with it, and yeah, yeah, I
And
like
Dad, was there something, did you was there an event that motivated him to play football, or did you want him involved in some type of sport?
Honestly, he's always been the kid who's never liked being in the house. He's always just 100 miles an hour around the house. So I was like, let me find a sport for this kid, man. And the first season, he loved it. He stuck with it. And I feel like now it's more of us bonding over something we both love. Not just me, but he loves football also. And it just went from there, actually.
Yeah, I figured there was some type of event, and normally there's some type of event that leads these kids to want to get involved with football, whether it's
Right.
going to a game, maybe it's seeing Sports Center or watching it on TV.
Yeah.
But I was just curious, was there something that led him to that? But Marley's actually one of the players on our sponsorship program, and we want our viewers to understand, what our program is. What we do is everything that Raider Dad does somehow assists parents, coaches. There's a lot of help that youth sports need, and what Raider Dad does is we actually provide hydration, and we find ways to decrease costs. Can you go into, what are some things that our potential sponsors, donors, could, give us an insight of the type of expenses that you guys are having to deal with just to allow them to play the sport that they love?
The cost of jerseys and traveling, that's the biggest thing.
Hmm.
We travel a lot. So, like, for instance, this past weekend we just went to San Diego for the hard count tournament, and
Hmm.
just the cost of everyone staying in Airbnb, and the car rentals, and like you even said, the hydration system, that it's a minute thing, but it's so big. The kids need hydration through the games. So those are the biggest things right there.
Yeah, and when we started this program, I know this seems like a small cost, but it's such a great cost, especially when we think about Nevada. Nevada is one of the hottest places in our country, and it's extremely difficult to play sports out here. And there is a break, right? Sometime during the summertime, you guys don't play as much, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And what we saw when we were trying to figure out, obviously, we would love to just be able to sponsor all these youth teams. We were trying to find ways that we could be the most effective, and we figured, if we can cut out the hydration part for you, we're talking about $1.50 per kid if you're only having one drink. But when you multiply that by each player, each practice, each game over the long haul, this money that we're saving them for hydration, saving them for the jerseys that we sponsored for you guys, that money can be recycled into the league fees. And, most teams, uh, you have two different fees. You have Vegas Flag and then the rec league that you guys participate in. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
money just for these kids to step in to the game. And for Marley, what What would you say? What's the culture of being in Rebel football? Is everybody really passionate about the game? Describe what goes on between you and your teammates.
It's for you.
Mm,
What is it like being a rebel?
good. I feel good, and then everybody's like just so nice, and yeah,
Yeah. How about when I went to your practice, you guys are all having fun out there. You guys are
yeah.
very motivating each other. Uh, Describe what your coach is like. Is he really passionate about getting you guys to achieve different milestones?
My coach, my coach, he likes
Hmm.
dancing, and he likes stuff, and he likes being funny, and yeah,
I would also like to say we have two other coaches, Coach Daryl, Coach Dre and Coach David.
Hmm.
They're a team. They all make sure the
Hmm.
boys are on point. They all do individual things that help, benefit the team. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I would say, they make things simpler and easier for, a 5, 6, 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid to understand it. Football is, it can be pretty complicated. And some of these kids are just stepping into it. And Coach Daryl, Coach Dre, and Coach David, they make it to where the kids understand it and where they can excel in the sport.
Yeah, and when I went to the practice, it seems like the culture. Why I wanted to ask this question was because it seems like everyone's a close knit family.
Oh yeah,
Everyone gets along, and I in different teams, different areas. I feel like you guys have a lot of support from the parents. You guys were all hanging out there. Uh, that's the one thing that I really like about the Rebel team. Everyone seems to be there for each other, and that's what we
yeah,
want our players to do, to be able to achieve things, but also lift each other up in the process.
yeah.
Uh, so let's talk about a little bit of some of Marley's success, and if Marley wants to say the awards that he's won.
I want to say the MVP,
MVP
the
of hard count.
yeah, and the season player of the season,
For what?
and
For what league?
for, for the
Vegas
for
flag.
the Vegas flag,
Mm-hmm. Those are some
and
great. Those are some great awards.
yeah,
He was also, in Vegas flag. The 6U division of the Rebels. They won the championship. They went all the way, undefeated, and he was player of the season for the 5-6 division. And just this past Saturday, the 6U Rebels also won Hard Count National Championship, where he was MVP of that also.
Okay, yeah. So Marley, Dad, what would you say? Would you say is there a leader of the team? Is Marley the leader of the team? Is there people that play special roles on this team, or what? What's your opinion?
Um, I personally believe, there's we have team captains. I will say that. So in the 6U division, he's a team captain. Another
Bryson,
Bryson. Who else? Bryson. Who else?
yeah, Zakai,
Zakai and Bash, right?
yeah,
And then for the 7U division, you have Maverick, you have Boogie, you have
David,
David, you have Andre. And I mean, they're all brothers. They all there's I wouldn't say there's a leader or anyone has any role. They all know their roles, what to do. So it's a mesh of everything. So there is team captains, but everyone knows their role.
Yeah, that's great. I just see Marley's success, and I don't know if he is exactly the team captain, but I just see him collecting awards and being part of the Raider Dad sponsorship. We want these kids to understand, it's great to have these milestones, but
Yeah.
we have to be able to bring others up with us because that's what Raider Dad's about, right? We're about
Yes, sir.
creating opportunities for other people, making them understand that when we get others to be successful, we're going to be more successful in turn. I really like, I've been following you guys for over a year now. It's been great to see, the successes that you're having.
Thank you.
I think Marley's going to be a great player, and it's great to see this so early on in his life. And I just think as he builds as a player and he learns to build up the others around him, see what they're good at, put them in situations to succeed. We're just going to see this team really take off. I'm really excited to be a part of this. I'm constantly texting the team mom, probably getting on her nerves, but
Shout out to
I just,
Jordan.
yeah, Joy. I just feel like there's so much potential for this team. I really love that Marley's been able to be a part of this because of him being a part of the Raider Dad experience last year. But we're going to show a clip, and I just want you to share with us, what has football done for you too. But let's show the clip first. Yeah, so just kind of describe, what has football really done for how does it bring parents together? You might not be out on that field, but what's it like to share something like this with your son?
It's the most beautiful thing to me, man. Honestly, like there's nothing I'd rather do than to wake up on a Saturday or Sunday morning and get his uniform all together, and we have our little pep talks in the car, and he's like, "Dad, I got this." He has it, and just seeing him, win or lose, he's passionate about his sport. He's passionate about his craft, and he's going to give it 120% every time he goes on that field. The same with his teammates, and like the clip you just showed, that was a tournament clip. He won the game, and it was very exciting. And even this past Father's Day, they won on Father's Day. That's better than any gift he could have gave me. Seeing him and his rebel brothers go out there and do what they do best, there's nothing I could have asked for.
Yeah, now I think that's one of the aspects of sports that kind of get left behind sometimes. We put so much focus on succeeding, the scoreboard, but we don't really pay attention to these little moments. And whenever I seen that, I'm like, oh yeah, I need that video right now, because that is like a perfect moment, and it describes what Raider Dad is about. It's about and it's not about saying, I'm not saying you're the best dad out there, or that, we're not comparing to other dads. It's about just steadily finding ways to, maybe we are good dads, but to improve ourselves, because there's always an area to improve. And that's just setting an example for these kids that, and whatever they achieve, that they can to find different areas to improve themselves. So I was really excited whenever I saw that, and I love seeing the relationships that you guys have. I think years down the road, you guys are going to look back to, wish you had these moments back. But whenever we get back from this break, we're gonna say thanks to our sponsors, but we're gonna dive into, what it's like to be a part of the Raider Dad experience, since you and Marley were both a part of that last season.
Sounds good.
It was good.
All right, so that we just wanted to give a special thanks to the Texas Roadhouse. Now this season, any tailgate that you come to at Allegiant Stadium through Raider Dad is provided by Texas Roadhouse, which is pretty cool, especially so early on in this season.
That's good.
Our preseason event is gonna be in August. I'm sure you guys know. Last year, we took about 52 families. We're hoping to get somewhere in that range. The One Nation Foundation has actually sponsored this event. It's going to be really exciting to, see different families, see the different opportunities, and how Raider Dad grows. So, special shout out to the One Nation Foundation. They will be there with us. Murph, Jeff, Sonny, a whole bunch of their people are switching where they normally tailgate just to come be with all our families, be a part of Raider Dad. So we're really excited about that. But let's talk about our own experiences. One of the things with Raider Dad, I can sit up here, I can get excited about, what I think what's good about the program, but I just want to give people a different, I guess, a different perspective. Have Marley, have you, just share, what was it? Just describe what went on at the event last year. And either you can speak on this, whoever wants to take the lead. Was it, what was the tailgate like? What was the things that you were involved in?
So I had fun, and I won a jersey, and I met my favorite receiver, Justin Jefferson. I said hi. He said hi to me back, and then I met some new friends, and then it was fun, and I had a great time.
And Dad, for you, what was it like to, had you ever been to a game prior to that?
No, I have not, and I think that
Okay.
was. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, and I think that was the most special thing to me. I got to experience my first game as well as his first game, as well as my wife's first game. He went with his grandparents who are huge Raider fans also. So I think the whole nuance of it was it was awesome.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We would love to be able. It's one of those opportunities that we would love to be able to take the whole family. Last year it worked out pretty well. So,
Yeah.
it's at times it's not just about the kid. There's some parents out there that have never been to a professional game or a Raiders game. So there's a lot of people that it's about the kids, but the type of opportunities that we're able to facilitate for these families, it means a lot. But what was, just watching him, what was it like to just, what was the energy from him? What do you remember from when you guys were first walking in the stadium or maybe hanging out pregame?
I remember, honestly, it was more so a family atmosphere, man. Everyone was screaming Raider Nation, and he's walking through, his eyes are lighting up, and he's seeing all these Raider jerseys and kids, and he's high fiving everyone. You know what I mean? It was just awesome to see a part of a culture that I grew up in. Now I'm kind of since passing that down to him because now he's a diehard Raider fan. You know what I mean? So it was a memory for me seeing my son kind of being like this is his thing. This is what he likes.
Right, and that's why there's a lot of motivations why we started Raider Dad, but what we wanted to do was be able to pass that passion down to other kids because myself, people that are even bigger diehard fans than me, there's going to have to be somebody to take our place someday, and there's no better way than to get to them early when they're growing up, make sure that we have the opportunity to allow them to be Raider fans. And that's what I just love everything about this. Is there people that you stay connected with from that day? Like people at the tailgate, maybe it's people that you met at the game, but have you been able to develop relationships that you stay in touch with?
I'm not a big social media guy, but my wife, she stays in contact with a few people. Stella Lakey, that's the one. Shout out to Stella Lakey. She's real involved with his football things on his football posts on my wife's Instagram. She's always commenting and say, "Go Raiders," So she's a big one. She's a real big one. Jay's Gourmet also. I forgot.
You see,
the best food, man. Jay's Gourmet.
That's one of the things about when you come to Raider Dad. When we started Raider Dad, we wanted people to feel like we had this family, right? And to stay connected. And, I look back to all the different families that have been able to come to our experiences, and it's just nice to see. It's like once a Raider, always a Raider. I hate to
Sure.
steal their lines, but that's how it works out. You come to Raider Dad, you meet people, and it's like this instant connection that we might not ever see each other again. But social media is big nowadays, and we're able to stay connected, motivate each other. We all want to see each other doing good things in the world. I was just curious of the different people, maybe see if you guys felt that energy and seen other people connecting. Um, but to go along with the Raider Dad experience, what do you think? What would be the impact to be able to invite youth athletes to something like this? What benefits do you see? Do you see it as like, I always say, seeing their dreams up close? I feel like if you're going to motivate kids, this is one of the biggest ways you could ever motivate kids, right?
That was my exact thing I was going to say. The whole "I can do it too" thing. You know what I mean? To me, it's different when you see things on TV and you feel like, I can never do that. That's not obtainable. But when you're in a sea full of people and you see the game 10 feet away from you, and then you go home and that's something you play football anyway. I think it's more so of a "I can do this too" thing.
Right. And what I think being able to do this for athletes, it not only motivates them, but I just want to see the impact, maybe after they come here, maybe like, they're just approaching the game differently. Because I imagine, I don't know what position Marley would want to play someday, but like he's able to go see the game. He can see the different coverages out there. It's not just about having fun and, making memories, but there's a learning aspect to this. Marley can sit there, he can understand why Devontae ran a certain route because of a certain coverage was on there. He can see how some of these players carry themselves pregame, and this is a big part of Raider Dad because we want them to understand. They're representing their own brand. They're representing your family, but they're also representing a mission that we're putting out into the community. And I think all this comes full circle when they're able to go to these games together. But what would you say, what would it be like to have the whole Rebels team be able to come to a game like this?
For me, I think it'd be awesome. That's no matter the team, they all share a common bond, which is football. You know what I mean? And they're more than just a team; they're brothers. So they spending at each other's house, and they're really bonding and connected. So I think for them to be hanging out, screaming at the top of their lungs, eating popcorn and Sour Patch Kids at an actual game, I think the boys will love it.
Yeah, I played sports growing up, and I reflect on the type of experiences like you guys went to San Diego, the memories that we made together. It's just, no matter where these kids go in life, they're going to remember these times. They're going to remember who they spent certain memories with, experiences with. And when they might not stay in touch, or, they might go off and do better things. But when they see people that they shared sports with, it's like, it's a brotherhood. It's an instant connection. Like you guys have been talking for years.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do. We're working on trying to be able to bring the Rebels there. We think it's a great part of our sponsorship, and I just think it's the best way to motivate these kids. I see them out there, collecting different achievements, even getting rings out here. And I just believe that every kid should have the opportunity to be able to go to a Raiders game. What's the feel in the Rebels team? Are we Raiders fans? What are we at this point?
It's the melting pot of everything. Like me and Coach Jared, we bicker because he's a Broncos fan, man. So I'm like, and those are the Raiders' bitter rivals. But he's a good guy, and everyone just, we have a few here and there, but everyone just it's every team, but I think the common ground is football. Everyone just loves the sport of football. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's that's one of the issues being in Las Vegas. There wasn't sports here for a long time, and a lot of people have been following teams or had a favorite team, and when you just place a team, all of a sudden in Las Vegas, there was no professional sports for these kids at one point, right? So that's part of Raider Dad's challenge, and we're up to try to convince all those players to be Raiders fans, and we're looking at the possibility of bringing all the Rebels to our preseason event, so we can kind of keep that on our radar. But that's all I had for today. I wanted to be able to give Marley the opportunity to come on here, share some of his success. And, Raider Dad's about preparing kids. This is a good teaching tool. Hopefully we'll be able to bring him back on. Do you guys want to share any type of schedule updates, or when are we going to see the Rebels back on the field before we go?
When we going to the Rebels?
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell them about Texas? Are we going to Texas, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We play every Saturday at All American Park. So I think we don't have a game next week, but every game after that we'll be there.
Okay, so if any of my followers out here want to see the Raider Dad sponsored team, the Rebels, All American Park every Saturday, Marley will be out there. Continue to share all your stuff with us. We love the tags, putting it on our story. I'm sure everyone loves sharing it, but I really appreciate you guys coming on. Hopefully we're going to be able to reconnect here soon.
Of course, and we thank you for having us. And from the whole Rebels organization, we thank you for everything you do, from the uniforms, to the squincher. Everything you do is appreciated. And I think I can speak for every parent, every child, every Rebel fan when we say thank you wholeheartedly, because you've done a lot for the Rebels organization in general in such a short amount of time, and we really do appreciate it. We really do.
No thank you is needed, but I love being a part of you guys. I look forward to speaking to you guys soon. I'll be in touch. Okay.
All right, Rebel Nation.
Rebel Nation.